Good. I got to watch this the other day. It's so much fun. You guys are both great in it. I'm psyched to ask you about it. Uh, I guess, I'll direct some questions. Obviously, if you guys want to jump in on anything, please feel free. You know what to do. It's your
We know
it's
the
not
routine.
yeah. It's not your first time. Uh, I guess my first question for both of you is just like, you know, filming this movie, this is the sequel. You've spent a lot of time together with Roger as well. How did this experience compare to doing the first one? Was it easier this time around?
Definitely a tropical location. So our first one was shot in Bulgaria. And it was during the fall or the winter. So it was pretty cold there.
Yeah. It snowed.
It snowed, yeah, it snowed. So this one was a change of just climate, which was actually really nice. But honestly, I'm a firm believer that most projects get better the more you work with people, right? You create a shorthand, you live in the character space a little bit more. So this one was a lot of fun, but it was also a bit of a departure from the other one. More comedy in this one. So we had a lot more fun being a little more slapstick with each other.
Yeah. Uh, that leads in perfectly to what I was going to ask, which is Virginia, I spoke briefly to you guys about the last movie, and I remember you had said you hadn't really done comedy then. Uh, this one is way sillier, so how was that for you? Was it like more improvisational? Did you get to like how did you feel about doing it?
Yeah, like I think for me, comedy is a lot harder than drama. Like I think comedy is so hard, but definitely got easier the second time around with the same character and the same director and actors who, like Dylan said, we all had a shorthand and just kind of got to mess around and film it, and that always makes it a lot easier.
Uh, and Dylan, I last time I think you were talking about how you worked with Roger and Virginia on translating the character of Travis to the screen from the books and kind of making him work now in a film. Uh, what is the hardest part about him to relate to as an actor?
Um, I don't think Travis is very hard to relate to necessarily, because if he really was, then I don't think people would relate to him at all. There is stuff about Travis which is relatable at its core. I think Travis is like a hot-headed traditional guy. I definitely think he was raised in a house full of men, which I was myself. So there's lots there that I can bounce off of. But I think some of his more like possessive, fix the problem kind of isms about himself or stuff that I have the toughest time connecting to. I definitely experienced some of those things that he's experienced, but never to the degree by which he experiences it. And most of all, I'm not like an underground fighter, so that's probably the big one. But yeah, I'd say those.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of fighting, Virginia in the first one's Dylan's fighting all the time. You get to do lucha libre in this one. Uh,
hmm
did he help you with that at all? How was shooting that?
I mean, Travis was like throwing out some pointers from the sidelines on the wrestling ring, which was a lot of fun. But no, it was pretty loose. There's a stunt woman that plays Thumbelina who I'm fighting, so she was super professional and fantastic. And it wasn't super choreographed. Abby doesn't know how to fight, so I didn't need to know how to fight well by any means. So I think, he needed to look like a professional fighter. I just needed to look silly. So I think I got lucky in that all my fighting kind of just got to be like fun and silly.
Yeah. And do you two have a favorite scene that you got to do with each other on this? I'm curious if it's the same for both of you.
Favorite scene? Well, we had to train a little bit to do some dancing, which was a funny experience for me because Ginny is like the wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Okay, you're not a good dancer either.
Okay, I was not that bad. So that was fun. I'm usually the worst dancer in the room.
I think I was the worst.
So you took the cake for me this time, and that was nice for me to see. That was
Yeah, a good confidence builder for you.
But it was cool to see you learn so much and then become good by the final day. That was like,
Was I good by the final day?
I mean, you definitely were better than when you started, I'll
Okay,
tell you
I'll
that.
take that.
So that was one of my favorite ones. Although I don't know if you noticed the way that it was shot.
You can't even tell.
So instead, it just looks like we're like bobbing up and down really
notice
fast.
that.
Did you notice that?
You can't even, we learned all this fancy footwork and you
We're, like,
don't even see
stepping.
it. It's literally just like us. We could have just been doing this. You would
It was
never have
very,
known.
so that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
I like that answer.
yeah, the beach scene was fun.
Yeah. I liked the dinner with Sancho where
Yeah, that was
Stephen
great.
Bauer, who's so funny, had the bell and was just like dinging it in Dylan's ear. That was funny.
Steven was the man.
Yeah,
so.
so funny. So great.
I was going to ask about that because I was looking at his credits and it's like Scarface, Better Call
Yeah.
Saul, written out of it, like super serious.
Amazing.
He was so silly in this. That must have
I
been
know.
so much fun. Yeah.
He's actually a silly guy in real life.
Yeah.
He is a silly guy. So
He's
I
great.
think like, I wouldn't be surprised if there were plenty of actors like that who are known for their more serious, dramatic roles who are actually just silly billies when it
Yeah,
comes
who
down
just
to it.
need like the right role for them to be able to do that. But he was so much fun in this movie. It was really fun to see. And Kyle Richards, she was really funny too.
Yeah. I didn't have any scenes with Kyle. Well, that one maybe, but
But she was
barely.
funny.
Yeah,
She was really
great.
funny.
Yeah. And I'm curious, Dylan, I also saw that you just did the duel with, I think you were talking about how it was like doing a movie with a lot of your, best friends. So, that's a great experience. This seems like a great experience. Without naming names, how often have you had the opposite where you're like, I need to get off this set right now?
I am blessed to say I've never had that experience. I've never had that experience. But that's part of like me signing on to a project. That's not true. I had one project that I really disliked someone on it. Really disliked. And I won't name names, but let's just say it was terrible.
Oh no.
Didn't really see eye to eye. But that's part of the whole deal, right? Which is like if I don't like who I'm working with, which is 90% of what I do acting for, I love the experience of working on set. I love making movies. It's what everyone really loves. I don't even really live for the finished product that much. I live for the experience on set. If I know I'm gonna have a bad time on set, I don't do the project. That's just it. I either walk away or I don't sign on to begin with. So.
Yeah.
Turns out
And-
she's one of the good ones.
Oh, lucky me. I made the cut.
And then I guess I can leave you with this one. What are the odds of a third film in this series? And if they're slim, what are the odds that we will see you two together on another film?
I mean, look, Dylan and I work well together and adore each other. So if it's not on Beautiful Disaster 3, I'm sure we will do something sometime.
I
together.
agree.
I'm sure it will happen.
I agree.
Yeah. That is great. Well, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much. And
Thank
congrats.
you.
Thank you.